Hi guys, so I just couldn't find anything that was super current out there for Genially, so I thought I'd make a little video and kind of introduce you to how it works. So when you first create your account, you probably don't have a lot of this stuff in here, and it might take you actually to this screen immediately, Create a Genially. So they've got all of their templates split up. They have a ton of templates. So don't be afraid to click on one and browse. The menu will come up over here on the left so you can keep browsing and keep changing your section. I want to encourage you as students to click on free up at the top so that you can sort and see the things that you can actually use. And then don't be afraid to click on a template and investigate it. So like, for example, this one, um, when you click on it, it'll bring it up here in a little window and you can actually interact with it and see what it looks like and what it does. And you can see all the animations and things that it's doing, like the little pulsing skulls and the spiders dropping down and so forth. You can see that this is a template that you're just going to edit and put your information in, and you can kind of play with it and see what happens when you're right and then what happens when you're wrong and so forth. And then if you decide you want to use the template, you just click on the Use This Template button and it will open up in the editing window for you. So let's talk about what's in the editing window. All of your tools, once this opens, all of your editing tools are going to be located on the left-hand side of your screen and at the top left corner of your screen. There we go. So this is the left-hand side. This is where you add new content to your screen over here. And then up here is where your tools will show up once you have something you can edit. There we go. All right, so you can see that I can change my color, I can change my font size, etc., all that good stuff. Couple things to point out. This is basically your layers, so it can move something in front of or behind another element. So like you can see that these hands are maybe behind the frame element, and you can move those around. This is transparency. And if you want something to be like where you won't accidentally move it, you can do like is done with this frame. And see how it has the little pink padlock up there, and that means that that element's locked. And I'm not accidentally going to click and drag this anywhere because I can't do anything to it. Okay. If I need to edit it, I can click the pink lock and unlock it, and now it's editable, and I can do stuff. If I want to lock it back, I just click the padlock up there in the top left corner. So basically, these templates, all of Genially works on pages. And if I click on the Pages button, you'll see them all over on the left. And all of a sudden, this looks a whole lot more like Google Slides or PowerPoint or something like that. And that's really all it is. It's a whole bunch of series of slides that interact with each other. So you make all the different pages, all the different places that you're going to go over here on the left. Okay, and you can kind of see the whole thing there at one view. And what makes Genially special is like the animation and those effects and the interactivity. So anytime you click on an element in Genially, you're going to see that you have at least two buttons up here. And one is always a comment and one is always a little finger that's pointing. The finger that's pointing is interaction. So you'll see there's no interaction with this text, it's just a title. But if I were to click on the Start button, you're going to see that there is interaction with the Start button. And we also have this, and of course I hover over it, it tells me what that is. That has just grouped the text and the green button behind it together so that I don't accidentally move one without the other. Okay, so if I click on the interactivity pointer, you'll see the menu pop up. Right now, what this Start button does is it goes to a specific page. In fact, it goes to question 1. Okay, so that's one thing you can do with interactivity. You could also send it to like an external link, or you could make something pop up when somebody clicks on that element. And a tooltip would be a small amount of text that would pop up in a little like text bubble. And then a window would be a larger amount of text, and you can actually specify the size of that window, but it's like a whole separate little window that pops up. So that's a little bit bigger, a little bit more text than a tooltip. Okay. Oh, so I left it alone. Just wanted to make sure I didn't mess it up. Okay. This one, the little comment, is animation. So I'm going to click on that, and my animation tray comes open on the right hand side. Now you can animate these things. I would be really careful about using continuous animation, and just be careful about how much you use. Like, this screen is great with the little grabby hands, but like having your text all spin in separately is a little bit much. Okay, so we can have effects like this where the entrance is for this button to zoom in. When you hover over one of these, I like focus better. When you hover over one of these effects, then it will preview that in the window over on the left. You can also change how fast that effect starts and the speed at which it goes. And so that's basically your animation and your interactivity. Okay. Now you can add some different things. One of the things that's kind of different about Genially than some other tools that you might have used is when you go to add pictures, and I know you probably have to add pictures to this assignment. When you add them from your computer, you have to have these pictures saved somewhere. You cannot copy and paste pictures into Genially. Okay, so you're going to have to save it, but it's okay. Even a Chromebook, even though you may think, oh, there's nowhere to save on a Chromebook, Chromebook will hold a few pictures for you temporarily, just long enough for you to put them in your presentation. Giphy is not going to work on our school website. Pixabay will, though, and Pixabay is a great place to find some pictures, high quality pictures, and it's searchable, and so you can find some nice shots to use that might make your presentation really stand out. Under resources, they have some illustrations and stuff. I will warn you that the search is not super full featured yet. It doesn't seem to find everything real easily. Maps are really useful though in here. Interactive elements are mostly kind of button kind of things. Invisible areas are cool. You can make it so that you can click on something in an invisible area of the screen. Smart blocks, all this really is it's kind of layouts that are pre-made, and they don't really do anything special other than if you wanted 5 vertical pictures and you wanted them evenly spaced, you could do that pretty fast using a smart block. But there's no prescribed animation or anything like that for these pictures. It's just something that they have to kind of help you with design. Okay, you can insert videos, YouTube videos. Vimeo's blocked at school. You can insert audio. Your background, I want to mention, there is the base background, which is outside of this rectangle that is what is mainly your content. I would not put any content that you need outside of that rectangle, because when you open this on a smaller device, you're not going to see very much of this base at all. Okay, so you can change your base by just clicking on one of these pictures. You can sort them, and they even have animated ones, like with the, I'm assuming, kind of the grabby hands. Then you have your canvas, which indicates the area inside of this rectangle, and you get to determine what that looks like as well. And again, you can use Pixabay pictures for those things. You can do a solid color. You can upload your own picture, and so forth. All right. And of course, you can add text. And that's about it for Genially. Now, once you're done and you have finished creating, actually, let me address this first. You can add collaborators. I'm not certain. I don't think you can actually collaborate at the same time on a Genially. It doesn't work kind of like Google does, but you can put somebody's email in, and you can do this asynchronously, so you can work on it at different times. Okay. All right. You can preview with this button right here, and you can kind of see what your presentation is going to look like. You have to name it first, and it'll pop up, and you can test all the buttons and everything and make sure it all works correctly. And then when you're done, click on the little rocket ship and say all set, and you can share this, and it will give you a link, and that link is something that you can send then to your teacher or turn in so that they can grade it. Okay, so I hope that gets you started on Genially, and I hope that helps, and I hope you enjoy playing around with this. I happen to love this tool. I think it's great. It really kind of makes your information come to life. Have a great day.